When I was 5 years old, I knew there were tigers and alligators that lived under my bed at night. I did not question what happened to them in the daylight, but I knew they were there at night. Medieval maps declared that there were dragons and sea monsters, particularly at the edge of the world. Dragons personified the very real dangers people of that time faced. They called on knights and angels to do battle with the evil the dragons represented. I wonder, why must they always be killed to end the dangers they pose? Was there not another way? Now, legends in southern France tell the story of Martha and her siblings, Mary and Lazarus. You remember Martha, the doer, who tried so hard to properly care for her dear friend Jesus and his followers. And she was so frustrated and angry when her sister Mary did not help, but sat down at Jesus' feet to listen. During persecutions of early followers of Jesus, some, including Martha, Mary, and Lazarus, were placed in boats and set adrift in the Mediterranean. But instead of perishing, these three sailed to Provence in southern France. Now there, Martha, always a doer, carried on the work of Jesus. Mary was conflated with Mary Magdalene and was reported to live in a cave nearby. Today, a shrine is located at that cave, St. Baume. Lazarus eventually became Bishop of Marseille, all according to the legend. Martha preached enthralling messages, healed the sick, and even raised the dead. In a town called Nerluck, she preached about miracles, and she knew a thing or two about miracles. She had watched Jesus, and she watched the raising of her brother Lazarus. But skeptical villagers insisted that she perform a big miracle for them, and then they would convert. The miracle? Get rid of the ferocious dragon, the Tarasque, which terrified them, absolutely terrified them. Now the Tarasque had the head of a lion, 6 legs with sharp claws they could slice a ship in two, and on its back was an armored shell, sort of like a turtle shell, with spines all along it. Now the Tarasque had a vicious tail which is whipped back and forth, and it killed and ate anything and everything that came anywhere near. Now, Martha accepted the challenge, though she had hoped for a miracle a little less dangerous. With trepidation, she ventured up to the dragon's lair, carrying only a wooden cross and a vial of holy water. Townspeople admired her courage and pitied her. They never expected to see her again. Well, she found the dragon in mid-meal, eating a hapless farmer. Plucking up her courage, she tossed holy water at the dragon, and immediately the dragon's fire was extinguished. Then she stepped forward and held out the cross toward the dragon, and it crept meekly toward her, like a lamb. She took her belt and used it as a collar and leash, and led the now contrite dragon back to the village. Now, unfortunately, the astonished people were so afraid and so filled with hate, they threw stones and spears at the dragon, which just bounced off the turtle shell. They could not accept that the dragon was a totally changed, transformed beast. So they kept pelting the dragon with rocks and spears. And the dragon, converted and transformed, fell down on the ground and died of shame for what it had done. The townspeople themselves needed a conversion away from prejudice and hatred in order to recognize transformation. Violence is not the only way to deal with danger, though we often seem to turn to violence first. And violence, of course, never leads to real peace. But today, there is a statue of the Tarasque at the castle of King Rene, and an annual festival in the third week of June that the King Rene established in 1474. The citizens The citizens of Nerluc also renamed their town to Tarasque, and the dragon is on its coat of arms. There's more than one way to do things.